The season started with 3 kids who were playing as superheroes. There were 2 siblings and a friend of them. The girl's name was Chloe. In the game, Chloe was holding her while her brother and friend were running, but suddenly Chloe and her friend start fighting. Because of this, Chloe got so angry that she screamed loudly, and as she does this, weird waves were made. Because of this, her brother and friend fell very far while Chloe's eyes started shining just like a superhero. Seeing this, her friend ran away from there, but Chloe's brother hugged her to save her. Meanwhile, her dad Sheldon also came there flying, which means he was also a superhero. Because of it, we understood that this is a family of superheroes. Sheldon started explaining to his daughter Chloe that she should not use her powers to hurt anyone and learn to control her anger. Anyway, forget this, let's go and eat ice cream with this. There was a sound of a siren, due to which, Sheldon understood that a villain has come to the city and people's lives are in danger. They need help. So he left his children and flew away from there to help people. Time passed and Sheldon's son had grown up and had become a superhero. When he heard the sound of bullets, he wore his superhero suit and then flew away from there to help people. As he reached there, he hit the ground hard, and because of his powers, the whole ground shook. Because of this, the cars standing there also started shaking hard, and here he faced a supervillain. They started fighting with each other. They were picking each other up and hitting each other, but then the supervillain becomes dominant on him. He picked up Sheldon's son and hit him hard, with which he collided with the wall and the whole wall broke. He attacks again, but Sheldon arrived and stopped his attack, after which he drove the villain away from there and started scolding his son that he shouldn't have fought without a team. Sheldon came home and was talking to his wife, and we discover that Chloe used to be angry with him. That's why she rarely meets him. Now Sheldon says to his wife that like every father, I also have the same dream that my son should take my place, but now it will take a lot of time for him to come to my place because I have seen that he is not doing his work properly. His son was secretly listening to this and becomes sad. That's when his uncle came to him. That means Sheldon's brother, so he asks, tell me uncle, how did my dad's youth pass? Then uncle tells that before becoming a superhero your dad Sheldon used to run a mill with his dad, but because of some of Sheldon's mistakes there was a loss in the business, so our dad decided to close the mill. But Sheldon was worried that if the mill is closed, then how will our workers earn? They will starve to death, so he didn't stop the mill and continued it, but there was more loss. Because of it, our dad was worried and jumped off the roof and took his life. When she was eating all this food at night, that's when Chloe comes, but because she does not frank with her dad, so because of arguing with him, she got up and left. Her brother went behind, makes her understand and was telling her to come back home, but in anger, Chloe says in childhood when we needed dad he never spent time with us. In fact, he was always helping people, so if he did not stay with us in childhood then still, I do not want his company. Now Sheldon's son found out about the supervillain Blackstar, that's why he wears his suit, takes his superhero friends and goes to face him. Everyone was using their own powers and fighting with Blackstar. Blackstar was also very powerful. Light was coming out of him. Because of everyone's attack, he became weak. Meanwhile, Sheldon's son comes and hits him with hard punch. Due to this, his life is lost, but seeing this Sheldon becomes furious at him because by killing him, he broke the rule. The rule was that no superhero will kill anyone, but then he found out that Black Star is alive and the one who was killed by Sheldon's son was a fake Black Star whom he killed by deceit. Then Black Star says someone made my disguise and fooled you people. Along with this, he says to Sheldon your son killed him and broke the rule, so he should be punished. Sheldon came home and started explaining to his son that he has done wrong. He should not have killed him, on which his son says it was necessary to kill him. If I had not killed him then he would have killed me and my friends and later everyone. Now we see Sheldon's past where the news of his business failing was also published in a newspaper. Sheldon was being blamed for this, and this is the reason that he used to be worried all the time. That is why when it was his father's funeral, he falls being unconscious while giving a speech to people. Now we see the present time, where some superheroes were fighting with the supervillain Black Star. By using his power on a superhero, Black Star kills him, after which when the superhero's funeral took place, then even after Sheldon's request, Chloe did not go and his son had to go. A police officer encourages him and says, well done son, you did a very good job by killing that supervillain. I think all the supervillains should be killed. Hearing this, Sheldon becomes angry. He comes home and says to his wife that everyone is going against my principles. Everyone is saying our son did the right thing by killing the fake Black Star. As far as I am concerned, he has done wrong. Hearing this, Sheldon's wife also got angry and she says everyone is right. He did right by killing the supervillain. If he had not killed him, then we would not have been alive today. The supervillain would have killed all of us. Now in the past, we are again shown Sheldon, where after his father's death he fell ill. He was admitted to the hospital. His brother, wife and a friend George, who was also a doctor, was taking care of Sheldon. When Sheldon was conscious, he sees an island in his dream. His father's voice was also heard, who was saying, "Make your group. Go to this place and save your country and people." In the present, we see Sheldon's friend means George's son. When he went to steal, two strange men came there. That's why without stealing he disappeared with the help of a device from there and came back to his place. In the past, Sheldon's brother came to his friend George because he was also a doctor. Sheldon's brother tells him that Sheldon's mental condition is getting worse. He has also stopped eating and drinking. He is always taking drugs because of it. People are saying bad things about him. They are making up stories. Actually, Sheldon was very sad about his father's death and was blaming himself. When George went to meet Sheldon, he sees that he is completely intoxicated. He has also made a painting along with it. He often hears his dad's voice. George keeps that painting with him, but when he searches for it, he does not get anything. He again came to meet Sheldon where he was absolutely fine. That's why when George asks him about the painting, Sheldon says, "Yes, I made it, but now you burn it." George says, "Okay, I burn it, but according to me there is something special in that painting." You see it once. Now when Sheldon sees the painting he does not understand anything, but then he hears his dad's voice and along with it, some strange thoughts were also coming. Afraid of this, he runs away from there. His health becomes worse again and Sheldon's brother was blaming George for all this, that now his condition is this just because of you. He was fine, but you showed him the painting, so his condition became like this again. In the present, when Chloe was going, a truck hits her hard, which was of George's son and his friends. When they see that she is Sheldon's daughter, they started fighting with her. Then she, with her superhero powers, kills them one by one. She was picking up and throwing someone on the ground and throwing someone in the sky, after which she runs away with their bag in which there were drugs. Now George's son was at someone's house because two men had kidnapped him. They were making him understand to stop stealing, but instead of listening to them, he kills them badly by attacking both with his device. Then he came and started making another device. He had kept his dad George's picture nearby. When Chloe was in a party, a boy came and started troubling her because he was also a superhero. On it, Chloe hits him a hard punch and throws him away. After seeing all this, a superhero came who stopped everything and took Chloe with him. They spend the night together. The next morning that boy says to Chloe to recommend him to her dad. On it, she got angry. That means he has brought me here to use me. She punches him hard and throws him away. He collides with the wall and falls down with the wall. Now Chloe goes for an ad commercial shooting, but even there she couldn't control her anger. She picks up a car and throws it away. Because of her behavior, she is thrown out of the ad. Chloe comes home and takes the same drug which she ran away with. It was of George's son. After it, in a state of intoxication, she calls her friends and invites them to the party. In Sheldon's past, he was going somewhere from a deserted road. On the way, he takes a lift from a man and asks about a man while showing the painting, but that man doesn't know anything. A girl tells Sheldon that man lives out of here. When Sheldon moved forward, he saw everything which he sees in his thoughts, and then finally, he meets that man. Sheldon says, "I have seen you in my dreams many times," on which the man had to say that you are not the first person to see this dream, but before you many people have seen this dream. Sheldon was talking to the man. That's when he sees his dad's soul again, which he ignored. That man says, "Whatever you see, it's all a lie. Don't pay attention to it, forget everything." Saying this, he shoots himself with his gun and ends himself, which hurt Sheldon a lot. When he checked the basement, he finds many corpses. As he came to the basement, he sees his dad again. Along with it, he sees many thoughts in which he sees his father's watch, which makes Sheldon unconscious. Then the next day, his brother comes and takes Sheldon back home. At present, there was a party at Chloe's house. As the party ended, she took all the remaining drugs, which made her so sick that she falls there. When George's son came, he was quite shocked to see that she has taken all the drugs together. Sheldon was quite worried that my son broke the rules and killed the fake Black Star. That's why he says to his son, "We are checking the Black Star's corpse medically, whatever it is. You will also see," but because of this, Sheldon's wife got angry and says, "How can you do this? Our son is also a human. He has made a mistake. Stop it. There is no way to correct him. You will do wrong by showing the torn corpse." In the past, Sheldon took his dad's watch, which he had seen in his thoughts, takes it out of his dad's grave. Sheldon tells George about all the things happening with him and asks him to come with him. On it, George agreed to come with him. Later, They also convince Sheldon's wife and his brother to go to the island where Sheldon's dad wanted to make a team and go. In the present, the fake Black Star's corpse was brought to check medically in the lab. Sheldon's son was quite sad that he has done a murder, but everyone explains that it's good that you killed him. He was very dangerous. If you didn't kill him, then he would have killed us all. Now when he cuts his corpse, a big ball of iron comes out from inside. When he opened it, there was a watch inside, and seeing it, Sheldon's brother says it seems George's work, because only he can make such watches. So go and catch him and ask him why he made this fake Black Star. So that's why Sheldon went to his son and started asking about George. On it, his son says, when I was 15 years old, I met my dad for the last time. I don't know where he is. Now when George wasn't found, Sheldon's brother says I want to go in this fake Black Star's mind and find out that who made this, but Sheldon's wife forbids him from doing this. Chloe was with George's son because they were in a relationship. Sheldon was worried about his principles, that if any principle is wrong, whether all my principles are right or not. In the past, Sheldon was convincing the captain of the ship to take him with him because he saw him in his own thoughts. First, the captain refused, but when Sheldon says take the money and come with us, he agreed to take him there. Now whoever Sheldon had seen in his thoughts was fulfilled except for one man. According to Sheldon, one man was less. In the present, superheroes and supervillains were fighting in which a superhero is killed. Now when a superhero starts beating a supervillain, Sheldon's wife comes in between and stops him, and she found out that my daughter Chloe is in the hospital because of taking drugs. She went to meet her in the hospital where she found out Chloe and George's son are in a relationship. That's why she asks Chloe to break her relationship with him because he is George's son who can't be trusted, but Chloe doesn't listen to her and says bad things to her mom and throws her out of there. Justice office where justice is decided. Sheldon's wife comes there and meets an officer. She says that today a superhero was about to kill a supervillain. I came in between and stopped him. On it, the officer says it is better to kill the supervillains because now they are killing all the superheroes. Then it was found out that a supervillain has attacked in another place in the city. Sheldon's wife immediately went there as she found out and discovers that the supervillain is inside the building whom a superhero girl is trying to kill. As she came in, she saw that the supervillain has killed the superhero girl. As she sees this, she becomes sad and angry too. That's why she started beating the supervillain badly. Before he dies, Sheldon's wife controls her anger and catches him alive. When she came home and told this to Sheldon, he becomes sad and went out. He started remembering his past again, where with Sheldon a lot of people were going on that ship. Here Sheldon was looking furious, seeing his behavior. His wife felt weird. That's why she goes and checks his stuff, in which she finds Sheldon's dad's watch, which was buried with him. George also came to know about this, so he asks Sheldon about this. Before Sheldon could tell him anything, he heard someone drowning in the sea. He came out quickly and saves that man from drowning. This man was the last one whom Sheldon saw in his thoughts, and now all were complete whom Sheldon used to see in his thoughts. That man comes to his senses and tells that there was a big storm when we were on the ship. He was telling this that there is a storm in the sea. Because of it, the captain turns the ship back, but Sheldon told him not to do this and told him to move the ship forward. But when the captain didn't listen to him, Sheldon points a gun at him. On it, the captain has to listen to him. In the meantime, the storm was suddenly disappeared and the weather was also clear, and they start moving forward. They started seeing that island. In the present, Sheldon's brother was insisting again and again that I want to go in the mind of a fake Black Star, but everyone was telling him not to do this because this way you can lose your life, but he was insisting again and again, so everyone had to agree. On it, Sheldon's wife says if you want to go in his mind, then call your daughter because he is good at this job. She will send you easily in the mind. That's why he disappeared from here and reached his daughter, tells her his plan and asks for help, but she misbehaves with her father and asks for money in return for this job while talking rudely. Sheldon argues with his wife and she says today, because of your principles another superhero was killed. You should think about whether your principles are right or not. Now Sheldon's brother brought his daughter from there, who with his powers sends her dad in the mind of a fake Black Star, but by doing this, Sheldon's brother started getting sick because half of the fake Black Star's mind was spoiled. In the past, they had come to the island. He got off the ship and started checking the whole island, but he saw only the desert there. Because of it, they were disappointed. They come back to the ship, but then a lot of trees come in front of him. Because of it, now instead of going back they have to move ahead, but when they move ahead, there was a big storm in which all of them had come, but on Sheldon's request, holding each other's hand, they came out of the storm. After coming to the side, Sheldon's brother started getting angry with him and says that we always had to suffer the consequences of your wrong decisions. First of all, because of your wrong decisions, the business sank, then Dad was killed, and today, we are stuck here just because of you. They move ahead and see a lot of people's skeletons lying here because of this. Everyone gets scared, and moreover, the way ahead was also over. Seeing it, they become furious that they start fighting with each other. Sheldon's wife says while stopping all of them, look at the corpses carefully. Someone has an arrow inside, someone has a rod inside, which meant that all of them died not because of coming here, but because of fighting among themselves, by which everyone understood this island is making us fight each other. Maybe it is testing us, so now we have to live together and should work. After which they get together and start trying to get out of there. As everyone puts their hands on a wall, there is a way opens with a lot of light which takes them to Jupiter planet. After reaching Jupiter, they started seeing all those people who are dead. Among them, Sheldon's dad was also included. He tells all of them that you have endured that pain in life. In front of every pain and trouble on your way, you stood bravely and fought them. That's why today some powers are being given to you, which is your reward of which you are worthy. Now people present on the ship in the sea see a unique magical view on the island because there was bright light everywhere. With this, they see Sheldon and his companions in superhero suits in the sky. That means from here, they got the powers of superheroes. In the present, when the real Black Star was in jail, the door of his jail opened on its own. Whereas Sheldon's brother's condition gets worse because of going into the mind of the fake Black Star. He started seeing strange things and keeps screaming while seeing them. Now Sheldon tells his son that George was his old companion and friend, but he did not believe his principles. That's why he was removed from our group when he broke the principle. Later, he became a supervillain from a superhero. Then a girl comes and tells him that the real Black Star has become free from his jail. After hearing this, Sheldon and his son quickly went to stop him, but Black Star caught Sheldon's son, and he says to Sheldon that if you want to save your son, then break the principles and have to end me. After hearing this, Sheldon was in thought, why is he asking to end him while breaking my rules? But now he has no other way except for breaking his rules and to kill him. That's why he used his full strength and started fighting with Black Star and was beating him a lot. Black Star was still holding his son. Before Sheldon killed him and broke the principles, a superhero comes and saves his son while attacking Black Star, but Black Star was not a small villain. He turns and attacks heavily. Because of this, Sheldon gets hurt a lot. After seeing his dad's condition, Sheldon's son also becomes enraged. That's why he beats Black Star a lot, but instead of killing him, he just takes him from there while making him unconscious. Chloe sees her friend George's son going somewhere and asks him, where are you going? He says, because you are Sheldon's daughter, my dad's enemy, so I can't tell you my plan because I don't trust you right now. After meeting his friends, when George's son was coming back, suddenly some guards start beating him. They were in huge quantities, that's why they were dominant on him before they kill him. Chloe comes there to help him. As she comes, she starts punching the guards and was throwing them, by which they were falling far away while breaking things in walls. Like this, everyone got beaten, and now this way, George's son started trusting Chloe and he tells her his plan. He shows her a machine that he made for finding his father George. Now in the past, when Sheldon and his companions have become superheroes, Sheldon makes a few rules according to it. No superhero will ever try to rule the world and will not end anyone. In the present, we see Sheldon's brother become successful in moving inside the fake Black Star's mind. When he meets George in his mind, they get into a fight. They were beating each other, but then George defeats Sheldon's brother, and right after it, Sheldon's wife comes. George also beats and defeats her while hanging her in the air with his powers. The daughter of Sheldon's brother comes out of the mind and says to her father, I read your mind when you went into his mind and discovered that not George, but you made clone of Black Star. You have done this so that you will blame George, even though you have made George a supervillain. You have thrown him out of the group and opened the door of the real Black Star's jail so that he could run from there and attack Sheldon and his son. Hearing it, Sheldon's brother wasn't surprised but agrees that he has done this so that Sheldon's son will start hating his father, and due to it, this union will break. The new union will be made and I will become its new leader. He asks his daughter to support him in all this. She says, I will not support you but will tell the truth to Sheldon that his brother is his enemy, not George. When she refused, Sheldon's brother feels his plan will be failed. That's why he separates his daughter's neck. She starts bleeding and dies. Here, this season ends.